Good morning, Mr.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
The voice was important.
okay. So this is the first time to hear me because I've been calling for about 3 minutes now.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm working from school today and looks like there was something wrong. Kiara, can you hear me now?
Yes, Mr.
Okay, good morning all.
Good morning.
I have Hassan Ruhaim, Mariam, Baghdadi, Tawakkul. Welcome, Tawakkul. Lulwa Tadrus, Ganna Gouda, Garaihi, Yasin, Walid, Hassan Gouda, Sa'a, Yahya, Jana Uthman, Ryan, Usama, Yusuf Awad, Kiara, Kunuz, and Ali. Okay, so I have about 21 students with me in the room now. Yesterday and the day before, for those who were absent and asked what to do, some people were absent with an excuse and gave me their excuse. It's plausible. I believe them after all. And some other people keep being absent without any excuse, without telling me, without letting me hear their voice. Again, you'll have 0 guys for participation, 0 out of 10, and 4 attendance. It depends on the days or the sessions you attended. And you know, now the school has a record of your attendance session by session. And after this session, I tell them that those guys, those 5 or those 6 or those 10 guys are absent today, and session by session they know who is absent session by session. And the school has a record, I have a record, I have my own record. We'll calculate the number of sessions you were attending, the number of sessions you were absent, and then you'll get a mark out of 10. It depends on your attendance, but please, tomorrow at the end of this term, be careful, please. Thank you very much for joining. Again, yesterday and the day before, we did opinion essay, and most of you sent me their essays. The deadline was 11:35 yesterday. Even if you sent it a little bit later, no problem. Those who were absent with unexcused and who called me late at night, you can have a look at the opinion essay in the SMS. There is a worksheet. If you can read it and send it to me, send your opinion essay to me tonight, for example, or by tomorrow's session, no problem, I'll accept it. The 2 guys who contacted me last night, okay? You can send it, no problem. Let's start. We'll do novel today. And I want someone to remind me, and please be sure to participate in the session, please. Once I call your name 2 times and you don't answer, then you are absent, okay? Do you remember where we stopped the last time we were doing the story? Does anyone remember where we stopped the last time we were doing the story? If you don't remember, say I don't remember. Yani say anything, please. Don't keep silent. Hello?
We don't remember, yes.
Perfect. This is a good answer. Thank you very much. Okay, no problem. I remind you. Okay, the last title we were doing was tricksters. A trickster is a person who is a cheater, a dishonest person, a person who plays, let's say, tricks on other people. But who, if you remember, who are the tricksters here? Specific people did something tricky to trick someone into doing something or into a specific situation and stealing something from him. Do you remember those who attended? Type. You know that Liesel and Rudy are hungry all the time. Do you agree? Guys, do you agree? Yes, sure. Okay. They saw a fat boy or a young boy their age called Otto Sturm, okay, who was taking or who was in the habit of taking a basket full of food and fruit and okay, everything they needed, the children, the hungry children needed, to the priests or to the monks in the church. Rudy, okay, poured some cold water in the street to make the boy slide with his bicycle and fall down and steal the bag of food from him. And his plan was successful. Okay, he brought 2 buckets of water, and this water in this cold weather, in cold winter, sorry, of Germany, changed it into ice, and the boy slid down and fell off his bike, and he was injured. Rudy and Liesel took the bag of fruit and food and ran away. Okay, are you following up, guys? Hello?
Yes.
Where did they go? Did they go to their homes? No. Their parents would ask them, where did you get this food from? And they will be punished. No, they went to Arthur Berg. Arthur Berg. Do you remember who Arthur Berg is, guys? Who remembers who Arthur Berg is? Remember the gang which the 2 children joined? The gang which steals food, fruits, potatoes from the farms near the Amber River. This boy is the leader of this gang, Arthur Berg. He is about 15, and Rudy and Liesel are loyal to him now. They took the food basket, and went to Arthur Berg and his friends. Okay? Okay. Are you there? Guys, I'm not talking to myself.
ايوه مستر ايوه.
Okay. They took, sorry. So they made a few more journeys with Arthur Berg and his friends, keen to prove their worth and extend their thieving repertoire. They wanted to prove to Arthur, the leader of the gang, that they were good at thieving or at stealing. They took potatoes from one farm, onions from another. Their biggest victory, however, they performed alone. As witnessed earlier, one of the benefits of walking through town was to, or the prospect of finding things on the ground. Remember when they found the coin on the ground a couple of days ago, and they went to cow dealer and they bought a piece of sweet from her shop. Okay. Another was noticing people, or more important, the same people doing identical things week after week. A boy from school, again, this is the story of Otto Sturm. This is the boy from whom they stole the basket. Was one such person. Every Friday afternoon, he rode his bike to church, carrying goods to the priests. Okay? This is the part I told you about. I summarized it. So, without any hesitation here, he poured the water, this is Rudy, onto the road in the exact position where Otto would pedal his bike around the corner. Liesel had to admit it. She accepted it. She liked the plan. There was a small portion of guilt at first. They felt guilty, but the plan was perfect, or at least as close to perfect as it could be. At just after 2 o'clock every Friday, Otto turned onto Munich Street with the produce in his front basket. So, who can tell me the meaning of produce here?
Food.
Food, good. Especially fruit and vegetables. Produce means agricultural food. Who gave me the answer?
Mariam.
Mary. Thank you, Mary. Okay. At the handlebars of his bike, on this particular Friday, that was as far as he would travel. The road was icy, as we said, as it was, but Rudy put on the extra coat. Why? Why, guys? I asked you this question in the last session. Why did Rudy put on the extra coat? We answered this question before. We read these very lines before.
Because it was snowing.
Two?
It was snowing.
It was snowy. Maybe this is Hassan Gouda. Another answer, please. Thank you, Hassan. Why did Rudy wear the extra coat, guys? I need an answer, please. I think, guys, I haven't shared the screen, right?
Yes, Mr.
Why didn't you tell me? I'm reading on my own, and I thought it was shared. I'm so sorry. Can we see it now?
Yes.
Okay, you should have told me, guys. Sometimes I forget to share the screen. I'm so sorry. But the road was icy as it was, but Rudy put on the extra coat. Why did Rudy put on the extra coat? Hassan said because it was snowy or cold, maybe, but this is not the reason.
عشان يخبي أكل فيها مستر.
Okay, but answer in English, please. Thank you. To hide the food in. They were in the habit of wearing an extra coat to hide as much food as they can in the pockets of this coat or jacket. Right. Barely able to contain a grin, it ran across his face like a skid. He put on the extra coat and smiled. Okay, come on, he said. That bush there. Let's hide behind that tree. After approximately 15 minutes, the diabolical plan bore its fruit. The plan was successful. When a plan bears its fruit, this means the plan is successful, so to speak. Rudy pointed his finger into a gap in the bush. There he is. talking about Otto. Otto Sturm. Otto came around the corner, dopey as a lamb. He wasted no time in losing control of the bike, sliding across the ice. The boy slid across the ice and fell down, and lying face down on the road. The boy, Otto, lay face down on the road. When he didn't move, Rudy looked at Liesel with alarm. They were worried that the boy would have died or something. Crucified Christ, like Jesus Christ, he said. I think we might have killed them. He crept slowly out from behind the tree, removed the basket, and they made their getaway. They escaped. Was he breathing? Liesel asked. Farther down the street. Keine Ahnung. No idea. I don't know. From far down the hill, they watched as Otto stood up, scratched his head, scratched his crotch, and looked everywhere for the basket. Stupid, shy Kopf, dumb. Rudy grinned, and they looked through the spoils. They stole the basket, bread, and the basket. What were the components of the basket? Or the contents, broken eggs, and the big one, speck. Rudy held the fatty ham, what specked ham, to his nose and breathed it gloriously in. Beautiful, okay, because the boy never ate ham. As tempting as it was to keep the victory to themselves, they were overpowered by a sense of loyalty to Arthur Berg. They decided to go to Arthur Berg. Who can remind me again of who Arthur Berg is? Sorry? Guys, who is Arthur Berg? Guys, be more active, please. Who is Arthur Berg? Put your hands up, please, if you know the answer. Who is Arthur Berg? I've just answered this question, guys. I answered it 2 minutes ago. Mariam only? Mariam and Brian? Huh? What about the other 19 students or 20 students? Guys, who is Arthur Berg? I've just answered the question. Mariam, Ryan, and Kiara. Okay, Ryan. Who is Arthur Berg?
He's the leader of the gang for which they were stealing for.
Thank you very much. These are the very words that I said. Thank you, Ryan. So Arthur Berg, the boy, was the leader of the gang, to which Rudy and Liesel joined to steal food from the farm. Okay. Thank you, Kiara, Ryan, and Mariam. Let's welcome. Halolwa is already there. Okay. Hi. They made their way to this or his impoverished lodging. Arthur lived in a poor area. Impoverished means poor. Lodging means a place where you live. On Kempfstrasse, Kempf, okay? Kempf Street, Struggle Street, yeah. And showed him the produce, the food. Arthur couldn't hold back his approval. He liked the food, okay? Who did you steal this from? He asked. It was Rudy who answered. Otto Sturm. We stole this from Otto Sturm, okay? Well, he nodded. Well, whoever that is, I'm grateful to him. I'm grateful to this person because he brought us this food. He walked inside and returned with a bread knife. He brought a bread knife to cut the bread, a frying pan to type. Why does Arthur need a frying pan here, guys? Ali, can you answer this question? Ali? So Ali is not here. Tadrus?
Ali here, Mr.
Hey, Ali, answer my question, please, quickly. Why does Arthur Berg need the frying pan? Follow up, guys, please. Hi, who can answer the question, Tadrus?
Because of the thieves, yeah, Mr.
Wait, Ali. Okay. Tadros, can you answer the question? Why does Arthur Berg, the gang leader, need a frying pan? Guys, follow up, please. Follow up, please, guys. Tadros, can you hear me? Yasin? Yasin? Are you there, Yasin?
يعني they didn't want to kill anyone يا مستر ولا ايه؟
This is Tadros or Yasin?
جيزة يا مستر.
Easy.
Easy? No? طب Yasin?
ماشي.
Okay, no problem. The boy brought.
What's the question? Why did he use frying pan? Why did he
What?
need it?
Fry what?
Why did he need the frying pan?
Okay. There were some broken eggs. Okay. The basket had some broken eggs, and he brought the frying pan to fry those eggs. Okay. The bread knife to cut the bread because they stole bread, some eggs, and a speck. Again, what's a speck, guys? Another question. What's a speck? Let's go back to the word speck. We saw it here. Speck. Where is speck? Speck here. This is speck. What's speck? Ladies, Jana Walid, are you following up?
Yes, yes.
Did you hear what? Were you following up when we read this part? What's a speck? S-P-E-C-K here.
I don't know.
Okay. Who does, guys? Who does? Who knows? What's a speck? Please keep following up again because I'll keep asking you questions. I will not keep reading and you're just listening or sleeping, guys. I'm so sorry. So, speck is ham. Speck is ham. Look. Rudy held the fatty ham, which is speck, to his nose and breathed it gloriously in and said, beautiful. Remember, Rudy was hungry all the time. Okay, so let's go on. The boy Arthur Berg brought a bread knife to cut the bread, a frying pan to fry the eggs, and the jacket. And the three thieves. Who are the three thieves here, guys? Who are the three thieves here? We have three thieves in this situation. Who are they?
Liesel or Rudy?
Liesel, Rudy, and Arthur Berg, the gang leader. Right, right, good. Who answered?
Jana.
أنا وأنا كمان.
Okay, أنت نصت. Okay.
Well,
It was a lady's voice.
معايا يا مستر والله.
Okay, I believe you. It was a lady's voice, not a gentleman's voice. Sorry. And the three thieves.
ألف الآخر. لا ألف الآخر.
No problem. Thank you. Okay. This is Tadros, right? Or Yahya?
تدرس وريح والله مش للدرجات.
Right. And the three thieves walked the hallway of apartments. There was a hallway between the apartments, again, because this area was for the poor people. Arthur Berg was poor and he lived in a poor area. We'll get the others. Who said this? Arthur Berg. We'll get the others or the other members of the gang. Why? We are loyal to them. We are not totally immoral, as he said. We are thieves, but يعني عندنا ضمير. Okay, we'll let the others join us. Arthur Berg stated as they made it outside, we might be criminals, but we're not totally immoral. Much like the book thief, he at least drew the line somewhere. Okay, a few more doors were knocked. They knocked on the doors of their friends. Names were called out to apartments from street below, and soon the whole conglomerate of Arthur Berg's fruit stealing troop, the whole gang, was on its way to the Emperor. The Emperor is the river. Okay, in the clearing, in a free space on the other side, a fire was lit. They lit a fire, and what was left of the eggs was salvaged and fried. They saved the remains of the eggs, okay, which weren't broken, and fried them. The bread and speck were cut, the bread and ham, with hands and knives. Every last piece of Otto Sturm's delivery was eaten. They ate everything. No priest inside. This was supposed to be the food of the priests. The boy was taking the food to the priests, but the priests didn't eat anything, okay? The thieves ate it. It was only at the end that an argument developed. Why? Regarding the basket. What would we do with the basket? The basket is empty now, okay? The majority of boys wanted to burn it. The majority wanted to burn it. Fritz Hammer, one of the boys, and Andy Schmeichel wanted to keep the bag. But Arthur Berg, the gang leader, showing his incongruous moral attitude, had a better idea. What is this idea? You two, he said to Rudy and Liesel, maybe you should take it back to that Sturm character. I'd say that poor bastard probably deserves that much. Why don't you return this basket to its owner, Rudy, okay? Oh, come on, Arthur. The others don't like the idea. I don't want to hear it, Andy. Shut up, Andy. Jesus Christ, they were fighting and so on. He doesn't want to hear it either, okay? Jesus Christ doesn't want to hear it because he said, I don't want to hear it, Andy. Andy said, Jesus Christ, showing that he was angry. Arthur said, he, meaning Jesus Christ, doesn't want to hear it either, and they laughed. And Rudi Steiner picked up the basket. I'll take it back and hang it on their mailbox in front of their home. He had walked only 20 meters or so when the girl caught up, Liesel caught up with him. She would be home far too late for comfort, but she was well aware that she had to accompany Rudi Steiner through town to the Sturm farm on the other side. For a long time, they walked in silence. Do you feel bad? Do you blame yourself for what we had done? Liesel finally asked. They were already on the way home. About what? You know, of course I do, because the boy fell down and he was about to die. But I'm not hungry anymore. And I bet he's not hungry either. He, a question here. Who does the pronoun he refer to here? Who is meant by he, guys, here? Who is he?
The priest.
The priest? Not exactly.
اوتو ده اسمه ايه؟ اوتو.
Otto?
Yes.
Sturm, the boy who was taking the food from his farm or their farm to the priests in the church. So this is the boy. So we shouldn't be sad because the boy is not hungry. He just fell down or fell off his bike and lost his conscience for a couple of seconds, and then he was okay. This is Rudy's answer. Don't think for a second that the priests would get food if there wasn't enough to go around at home. Okay, yani the priests will not be hungry after all. They are priests and they will find what to eat. He just hit the ground so hard. The girl said, I feel for him because, or I sympathize with him because he hit the ground so hard when he fell off his bike. Don't remind me. Okay, don't remind me, Rudy said, but Rudi Steiner couldn't resist smiling. In years to come, he would be a giver of bread, not a stealer. Later, okay, this is the narrator. Death tells us about the future of Rudy. Proof again of the contradictory human being. So much good, so much evil. This is a reflection from the narrator about human beings and their character. Just add water, okay? 5 days after their bittersweet little victory. What's meant by victory here? What's meant by victory? Just 5 days after their little victory, Arthur Berg emerged again and invited them on his next stealing project. Guys, what's meant by victory?
الفود اللي لو يمس.
Yeah, stealing. Answer in English, please. Thank you. Stealing the basket with the food. Thank you. Yes. Okay. This was a victory. This was a successful plan. They planned something and the plan was successful and they could steal the food and they fed their friends or their fellow gangsters. Arthur Berg emerged again and invited them on his next stealing plan. They ran into him on Munich Street. When you run into someone, you meet him or her by chance. On the way home from school on a Wednesday, he was already in his Hitler Youth uniform because he was 15. We're going again tomorrow afternoon. You interested? Would you like to join us? Tomorrow afternoon is Thursday. He couldn't help themselves, or they couldn't help themselves. Where the potato place, the place from which we can steal potato. 24 hours later, it was Thursday then, Liesel and Rudy braved the wire fence surrounding the farm again and filled their sack with vegetables. The problem showed up as they made their getaway. It was easy to climb in, but it was hard to climb out. Christ, shouted Arthur. The farmer, the owner of the farm is coming and they will be caught, or if anybody is caught, he or she will be punished or sent to prison or something like that. It was his next word, however, that frightened. He called it out as if he'd already been attacked with it. His mouth ripped open, the word flew out, and the word was axe. The farmer was carrying an axe. You know what an axe is, of course. It's a lovely weapon with which he can kill any one of them or catch any one of them. Sure enough, when they turned around, the farmer was running at them. The weapon held aloft. He was holding his axe aloft, high in the air. Okay? The whole group ran for the fence line and made their way over. Rudy was stuck. Who was farthest away? He was deep in the farm. He was stuck. Caught up quickly, but not quickly enough to avoid being last. As he pulled his leg up, he became entangled. You know, when you get entangled in the barbed wire. Hey, the sound of the stranded, the one who was struggling, who was late. The group stopped. They looked behind. They found Rudy entangled in the barbed wire, the fence. Instinctively, Liesel won't leave him back. She ran back to him. Hurry up, Arthur called out. His voice was far away. Arthur, the coward, called out from a distance as if he swallowed it before it exited his mouth. He said, hurry up, and he didn't want to raise his voice more than that. White sky, the others ran. Liesel arrived and started pulling at the fabric of his pants. She tried to pull his trousers or his body from his trousers. Rudy's eyes were open wide with fear. Quick, he said, he's coming. The farmer was nearing. Far off, they could still hear the sound of deserting field when an extra hand grabbed the wire and reefed it away from Rudy Steiner's pants. A piece was left, a piece of the pants, a piece of the trousers were left on the metallic knob of the barbed wire or the wire fence. But the boy was able to escape after all, alhamdulillah. Now, move it, Arthur advised them. Not long before the farmer arrived, swearing and struggling for breath. He was out of breath. The axe held on now with force to his leg. He called out the futile words of the robber. I'll have you arrested. I'll find you. I'll find out who you are, he said to the boys, okay, and the girl. What or that was when Arthur Berg replied, the name is Owens. He loped away, catching up to Liesel and Rudy. Jesse Owens, okay? When they made it to safe ground, fighting to suck the air into their lungs because they were out of breath, they sat down and Arthur Berg came over. Rudy wouldn't look at him. Why? Because he left him and ran away. It was Liesel who helped him, who saved him. It's happened to all of us. Arthur said, this happened to all of us. Okay? Arthur said, Sensing the disappointment in Rudy's face, was he lying? They couldn't be sure, and they would never find out. Okay, but they had to believe him. A few weeks later, Arthur Berg moved to Cologne, another German city, as you know. They saw him once more on one of Liesel's washing delivery rounds in an alleyway of Munich Street. He handed Liesel a brown paper bag containing a dozen chestnuts. Arthur Berg, the first time he met Liesel, handed her a brown paper bag containing a dozen chestnuts. He smirked, he smiled. A contact in the roasting industry, after informing them of his departure, he managed to proffer a last pimply smile. He smiled at them and to cuff each of them on the foreground. He hit Liesel and Rudy on their forehead. Don't go eating all those things at once either, as you did with the apples. Don't eat all these chestnuts at once, okay? And they never saw Arthur again. As for me, this is the narrator, Death. I can tell you that I, Death, most definitely saw him, because Death will meet him again and again. A small tribute to Arthur Berg. Still living man. He was still living when I saw him. The Cologne sky was yellow and rotting, flaking at the edges. He sat propped against a wall with a child in his arms, his sister. When she stopped breathing, yani Death met Arthur Berg when Arthur's sister, who was a child, died in his arms, in Arthur's arms. He stayed with her, and I could sense he would hold her for hours. There were 2 stolen apples in his pocket. Yani he was still stealing apples and fruits even when he moved or after he moved to Cologne. This time, they played it smarter. They ate, talking about Liesel and Rudy here. They ate 1 chestnut each and sold the rest of them door to door. They went to houses to sell. If you have a few pfennig to spare, Liesel said to each house, I have chestnuts. If you want to buy our chestnuts, I have some. They ended up with 16 coins. They earned 16 coins for the 10 chestnuts they sold. Now, Rudy grinned, smiled. Revenge? Revenge from whom? Revenge from whom, guys? How Diller? Remember when she insulted them the last time they found a pfennig on the ground and went to buy sweet or mixed sweet, and she said there is no mixed sweet, this is not enough. But they have 16 coins now, and they can buy the mixed sweet they like. The same afternoon, they returned to Frau Diller's. Heil Hitler. They said Heil Hitler and waited. Mixed candy again. She said, a German word, to which they nodded. Yes. The money splashed the counter. They threw the money on the counter, and Frau